Have you ever felt like there is something in this life that is deeper, beyond the surface existence we usually accept? Perhaps you've experienced moments when the world around you seems unreal, as if it's fading away, only for the things that really matter to become crystal clear. If you feel this way, you may be on the threshold of a profound spiritual awakening. This awakening is not merely a change in thinking. It is a soul-stirring transformation. It's the kind of experience that makes you question everything you ever believed about the world, about yourself. As you begin this spiritual journey, you may feel like you are walking alone, alienated from the material world that once seemed so important. The truth is, this feeling of isolation is often one of the first signs that Spirit is calling you into something bigger. This experience, although lonely and confusing at times, was also incredibly beautiful and life-changing. It marks your initiation into higher consciousness, a path where the true nature of life begins to reveal itself. Jesus himself said in Matthew 7 verses 13 to 14, "Enter through the narrow gate, for wide is the gate and broad is the road that leads to destruction, and many will pass through it. But small is the gate and narrow is the path that leads to life, and only a few find it. This narrow path, though difficult to follow, is the path to true spiritual freedom." Spiritual awakening is the soul's cry for liberation, a divine invitation to break free from the shackles of the material world and reconnect with the truth of yourself. Are you ready to listen to this call? Or will you remain in the comfort of worldly distractions, which promise fulfillment but deliver emptiness? Like the Israelites in Exodus 3 verses 7 to 8, who were called by God to leave the oppression of Egypt, we too are being called into a greater life, a greater purpose. God wants to bring us out of the bondage of superficiality and into the freedom of His divine truth. If you have begun this journey of spiritual awakening, you are no longer blind to the illusions that shape the world. Things that once promised joy and money, power, fame, respect now lose their appeal to you. You realize that true joy lies not in external achievements, but deep within your spirit, in your relationship with the divine. As Solomon said in Ecclesiastes 1 verse 14, "I have seen all that is done under the sun. Everything is meaningless, just like chasing the wind." Without spiritual awakening, we can pursue these ephemeral things all our lives, only to eventually realize we are still empty and unfulfilled. But in the journey of awakening, you gradually realize that everything in life has a noble meaning. Heartaches, broken dreams, or lost moments all lead you to this moment. The moment you begin to understand the connection between yourself and your Creator. This journey will not only change the way you see the world, but also the way you see yourself. In the light of awakening, you realize that you are not alone. You are part of a larger divine plan. Like those called by God, you too are being led on the path to freedom, love, and truth. Are you ready to discover your inner divine calling? Look back at your life, listen to your inner voice, and let the light of awakening guide you. Because even in the moments you feel most alone, God is always there, guiding you on your journey to finding true meaning and purpose. God's chosen ones, here are 21 physical and spiritual signs that you've been chosen to awaken. Part 1. The beginning of awakening when life becomes fake. Have you ever felt like your life is like a lost dream? As if everything you once pursued, from goals to achievements to seemingly deep relationships, suddenly turned into a faint mist? Imagine standing in front of a mirror, and the reflection is not you, but a stranger with empty eyes. Have you ever wondered, is this me? Is this the life I dreamed of? This feeling is not one of meaningless lostness. It is the first whisper of your soul, a sacred call from the depths of your soul. It is like an echo of the words in the book of Revelation. I stood at the door and knocked. If anyone hears my voice and opens the door, I will come in. Revelation 3 verse 20. Have you heard that knock on the door? The world around you is now like a stage, where people put on false masks, acting out the drama of success, wealth, and status. But underneath that flashy paint job, you see a terrifying reality: emptiness. You walk on the path that society has paved, but every step feels like sinking deeper into quicksand. Why do you feel this way? Is it because the values you are living by are not your own, but are the expectations and pressures from a world full of lies? Jesus' words echo, "Do not store up treasure on earth, where moth and rust destroy it, but store up treasure in heaven." Matthew 6 verses 19 to 20. Have you ever thought that what you pursue, material things, power, or approval from others, is not real treasure? What are you hoarding for yourself? As you begin to awaken, a storm of realization will sweep through your mind. Nagging questions cling to you, like cold raindrops on your skin. Who am I? Why am I here? What does this life mean? You begin to look back at your dreams, your choices, and realize that they may not be yours, but the product of a world that wants you to conform. Paul said in Romans 12 verse 2, "Do not conform to the pattern of this world, but be transformed by the renewing of your mind." This teaching is not just an ancient message, but a guide to modern awakening. When you break the mold of society, you begin to see more clearly a truth that cannot be hidden. The life you are living does not reflect who you truly are. Imagine you are standing in the middle of a large field under an overcast sky. The clouds swirl overhead as a sign of inner turmoil. But in that darkness, a ray of light flashed small, but enough to guide the way. It is a ray of hope, of truth. God said in Jeremiah 29 verse 11, "For I know the plans I have for you, plan to be a blessing, not a curse, to give you hope and a future." Is that ray of light an invitation for you to step out of the fog of fake life? God's chosen ones, chosen souls, are always guided by this light. Do you dare follow it? Are you brave enough to embark on a journey to discover your true nature? But remember, this journey is not a road full of roses. It's like entering a dense forest where you have to let go of all your baggage, false beliefs, toxic relationships, and unhealthy habits. Is it painful? Sure. But Jesus said, "Whoever wants to come after me must deny himself, take up his cross, and follow me." Matthew 16 verse 24. Are you willing to let go of the things that once defined you? Are you willing to face the pain to find the truth? Don't forget, this journey is not just for you. It is your soul's calling to be part of a greater plan, a plan that God had in mind before you were born. Looking back at your life, you will realize that the emptiness you feel is not a sign of failure, but a call from God. When you hear His voice knocking on your door, are you open to receive it? Is this the life I want? Or is it just a dream created by society? This is when you face the biggest question of your life. Part 2. Facing the darkness journey through inner chaos. Do you dare to step into the darkness in search of light? Perhaps you have heard a whisper in your soul, an invitation to step out of your safe shell to discover the truth. But this journey is not an easy path. It is a direct confrontation with the ghosts that lurk deep within you. Imagine you are standing in front of a dark forest. The dense canopy of trees obscures the light, creating a cold, fearful space. With every step you take, the darkness seems to get closer, whispering worries and doubts in your ear. Am I on the wrong path? Am I strong enough to continue? This is the period of inner turmoil where you must face the painful truth about what once defined you. The old dreams and achievements that you once worked hard to achieve are now like castles built on sand, easily collapsing with just a small wave. Have you ever wondered, does everything I pursue make sense? In these moments, the feeling of emptiness can weigh on you like a cold blanket on a winter night. You look around and realize that relationships that were once close are now distant. People you once trusted no longer seem to understand you. Why do I feel lonely in a crowd? But this loneliness is not a curse, but a necessary purification for you to better understand yourself. Paul wrote in Hebrews 12 verse 1, "Let us throw away everything that hinders and the sin that easily entangles us, and let us run with endurance the race marked out for us." What are the things that hold you back? Is it old beliefs that no longer work, or toxic relationships that pull you back? Are you brave enough to let them go? Like a mountain climber who has to leave behind heavy luggage to conquer the peak, you also have to let go of mental burdens to move on. But letting go is not easy. It is like uprooting a tree that is deeply rooted in the ground. This process is painful, but necessary to clear the way for new growth. You may feel like you're losing everything, but remember, sometimes to find the light, you have to lose everything. Jesus said in Matthew 16 verse 25, "Whoever wants to save his life will lose it, but whoever loses his life for my sake will find it." Losing here is not a failure, but a letting go of parts that no longer serve your divine purpose. Are you willing to lose things that no longer belong to you? On this journey, you will face your deepest fear, the fear of your own imperfections. Painful memories and past mistakes will arise like ghosts, threatening to drag you down to the abyss of self-blame. But remember, in weakness my strength is fully revealed.
2 Coríntios 12:9.
It is in this weakness that you will find true strength. Imagine a fire smoldering in your soul. Every time you face a fear, a pain, that fire flares up stronger, burning away the things that no longer fit. This is the refining stage, where the old self is washed away to make way for the truer and stronger self. Have you ever stood in front of the mirror and asked yourself, "Who am I, without my achievements, status, or recognition from others?" This is the decisive question in this journey. God's chosen ones are not defined by what they possess, but by the divine light they carry within them. Have you recognized that light within yourself? In this chaos, you may feel tired and discouraged, but that's just part of the journey. Jesus said, "Come to me, all you who are weary and burdened, and I will give you rest." Matthew 11 verse 28. Imagine letting go of all your burdens and placing them at his feet. What does that feeling of relief feel like? Are you willing to let him lead you through the darkness? As you move through the chaos, you will begin to see change. Old values, material things, status, and social approval lose their appeal. Instead, you crave more meaningful things: sincerity, love, and truth. This is not a loss, but a rebirth. You are learning how to live a life that truly reflects your divine nature. Remember, chaos is not a sign of failure, but a necessary part of transformation. It is like the storm before dawn, clearing away what is no longer relevant to make room for the light. Do you feel that light waiting for you? Part 3. Awakening Light Journey to Truth and Meaning. The light of awakening journey to truth and meaning. Have you ever experienced a moment when it seemed like the whole world was against you, but suddenly a small ray of light flashed, illuminating every corner of your soul? That light, although fragile, is strong enough to dispel the dense darkness, so that you realize that your journey is not a random series of events, but a part of a divine plan created by you, predetermined. It is a moment of awakening, when you are no longer the same person, bound by the fragments of the past, but a new version of yourself, truer, stronger, and deeply connected to the source of your energy. Sacred quality of life. Imagine yourself standing on top of a mountain after a long journey through dense forests and rough roads. In front of you is a vast landscape, where the dawn light begins to dispel the night. The gentle breeze brings freedom, and in that moment, you no longer feel weighed down by old burdens. You stand there, take a deep breath, and in that breeze, do you hear a question echoing from your very soul? Is this who I was chosen to be? God said in Jeremiah 29 verse 11, "For I know the plans I have for you, plan to be a blessing, not a curse, to give you hope and a future." The chosen ones, God's chosen ones, not perfect people, but souls who dared to step into the darkness in search of light. That light does not come from this world, but from Him who created you with a noble purpose. Have you ever felt that every difficulty you go through is part of that plan? Are you ready to let that light guide you? Awakening is not an end, but a rebirth. After leaving behind old burdens, you feel true freedom. The superficial relationships, the dreams that weren't yours, and the fears that once held you back now have no power. You realize that, like a fire fanned by strong winds, it is trials and tribulations that help you burn stronger. In this new light, you begin to long for something deeper. The things that once brought joy and money, status, or recognition from others are now empty shells. Your soul searches for a higher meaning, a purpose that transcends the banality of worldly pursuits. Jesus taught, Whatever you did for one of the least of these my brothers, you did for me. Matthew 25 verse 40. You realize that true joy lies not in receiving, but in giving. Acts of love, however small, bring a deep satisfaction that no other accomplishment can compare to. Have you noticed that when you help others, your heart is also healed? When the light shines, you not only see yourself, but you see the connection between all things. You realize that you are not alone. You are part of a bigger picture that God is painting. Relationships you once considered distant are now redefined. You feel the sacredness in every breath, every look, and even in silent moments. Jesus prayed in John 17 verse 21. May they all be one, Father, as you are in me and I in you. This unity is not just an idea, but a profound reality that you can feel in every cell of your being. You begin to understand that the loneliness you once felt was not a punishment, but an invitation to return to yourself. When you stand before nature, before a majestic mountain, a fresh stream, or just a tiny flower blooming in silence, you feel the presence of the Creator. The earth, in all its beauty and complexity, is a reminder that you, too, have such a noble purpose. Have you ever thought that, like every mountain, river, or wind, you were created for a reason? In the light of awakening, you no longer need to wear a mask. You don't have to pretend to be someone else to please others. You are free to live your true nature, and this not only liberates you, but also inspires others. Jesus said in Matthew 5 verse 16, "Let your light shine before others, that they may see your good works and give glory to your Father who is in heaven." Do you dare to let your light shine? When you stay true to yourself, you will realize that your journey is not just about you. What you have learned, the difficulties you have overcome, are the gifts you can give to the world. You become a light bearer, someone who reminds others that they too are chosen, too valuable, and too can overcome the darkness to find their own light. God said in Joshua 1 verse 9, "Be strong and courageous. Do not be afraid or discouraged, for the Lord your God will be with you wherever you go." Are you willing to trust that, no matter where you are in your journey, that divine light is always with you? The journey of awakening is not an easy path, but it is a path that leads to truth, freedom, and meaning. Every step you take, every decision you make, is part of the divine plan God has for you. Do you dare to move forward, to live true to who you were created to be? Do you dare to let your light shine, not only for yourself, but also for the world around you? Remember, you are not just a seeker of light, you are the light. You are living proof of the fact that, no matter how great the darkness, light can always prevail. Part 4. Spreading light, the mission of the chosen one. When the light of awakening has illuminated your soul, you are no longer a lonely traveler on this journey. The light you carry within you is not just for you, but is an entrusted gift, a sacred responsibility to spread it to others. Have you ever wondered, what is the real meaning of this light? What should I do with it? This is when your journey shifts from a personal quest to a greater mission, one to change the world. Imagine you are holding a torch in your hand. The flame burns brightly not to warm yourself, but to light the way for those who are still lost in the darkness. You don't need to shout to attract attention, because light itself is powerful enough to guide. Every action, every word, and even every breath you take carries with it the presence of this light. Do you feel that even the smallest things you do can make a huge difference? Jesus taught in Matthew 5 verses 14 to 16, "You are the light of the world. A city built on a hill cannot be hidden. Let your light shine before others, that they may see your good works and glorify your Father who is in heaven." Are you ready to become a city on a hill, a beacon to guide souls tossing in the storm of lostness? As you step into your mission, you will realize that the world not only needs your light, but craves it. Today's society is full of insecurity, loneliness, and suffering. Think about the people around you, the smiling faces but empty eyes, the cheerful words hiding an indescribable pain. Have you ever felt your heart ache when you saw this suffering? That's not a coincidence. It is a call from God, reminding you that you can bring healing. In Matthew 25 verse 40, Jesus said, Whatever you did for one of the least of these my brothers, you did for me. Every time you extend a helping hand, every time you give a smile, or even just listen with compassion, you are not only helping others, but also fulfilling God's will. Have you ever noticed that, in the moments you give, your heart is also filled? Spreading light is not a huge task, but a series of small actions, each a seed of hope and love. Imagine every word you say is a ray of light. Every action you do is a candle lit in the darkness. You don't have to change the whole world at once. Just start with one person, one action, one moment. Do you believe that even a small fire can warm a whole room? However, the journey of spreading light is not always easy. You may encounter resistance, suspicious looks, or even rejection. The world is often afraid of the truth, because the truth has the power to dissolve all lies. But remember, you are not fighting alone. God promised in Joshua 1 verse 9, "Be strong and courageous. Do not be afraid or discouraged, for the Lord your God will be with you wherever you go." Remember that your light does not come from yourself, but from the divine source to which you are connected. It is God's presence in you that makes you different, that makes your light unquenchable. Just as an oil lamp is fueled from an infinite source, your light will never run out if you continue to nurture your connection with your Creator. When you spread light, you not only help others find their path, but you also deepen your own connection to the light. You begin to realize that every person you help, every pain you relieve, is part of a larger mission to bring peace and love to this world. God said in John 15 verse 16, "You did not choose me, but I chose you and appointed you that you should go and bear fruit." Do you believe that you were chosen to bear fruit not only for yourself, but also for those around you? Look back at the journey you've been on, from the darkness of falsehood, through the storm of inner turmoil, to the light of awakening. You have found the truth, and now you are called to share that truth with the world. But this journey doesn't end here. It continues every day, in every action, every thought, and every breath. Are you ready to be a light that never goes out, a beacon of light for lost souls? Remember, your light is not just a gift, but a responsibility. A responsibility full of love, full of meaning, and also full of joy. You are not only called to live a life of light, but also to help others find their own light. You are not only a bearer of light, but also living proof that, no matter how great the darkness, light always wins. Walk, with a torch in your hand and a light in your heart, and know that you are not just a traveler, but one of God's chosen ones, the people chosen to change the world. Part 5. Unity in Light, Symphony of Soul and Universe. Have you ever felt absolute peace, not the silence of the surrounding space, but the harmony between your heart, mind, and soul? It's the moment you realize that you don't just exist in this world, but that you are an inseparable part of a larger picture, a perfect symphony that every beat of why our heart resonates with, harmonize with the music. This is the pinnacle of the awakening journey, where you not only find light, but also realize that you are part of the eternal light. Imagine yourself standing under the night sky, where millions of stars sparkle like jewels scattered across a black velvet fabric. You feel your smallness, but at the same time, you also feel deeply connected to everything around you. You realize that, like those stars, you have your own place, a unique role in this infinite picture. Am I not just a small individual, but part of something greater? Jesus prayed in John 17 verse 21. "May they all be one, Father, as you are in me and I in you, that they also may be in us." That prayer is not just a wish, but a spiritual truth. When you awaken, you begin to understand that no separation truly exists between you and the universe, between you and your Creator. We are all connected in His light, a light that never fades. Have you ever felt that everything in life, good or bad, has a purpose? That even the suffering you have endured, the broken dreams, and the lost paths, have led you to this moment, the moment when you understand that everything is perfectly arranged? In Romans 8 verse 28, Paul wrote, "We know that in all things God works for the good of those who love Him, who are called according to His purpose." Are you seeing the big picture, where every piece has its own meaning? Unity in light is not only a connection with the universe, but also a harmony with yourself. You begin to understand that all parts of you, both the parts you love and the parts you have rejected, have a role to play. Like a piece of music, every note contributes to the melody. Are you ready to embrace every part of yourself, to live an authentic and whole life? Visualize the light you carry within you as a candle lit from a sacred flame. Every person you meet, every soul you touch, carries a candle of its own. When you share your light, you do not lose it, but on the contrary, you make the light of the whole world brighter. Jesus taught, "Love your neighbor as yourself." Matthew 22 verse 39. This is not just a command, but a reminder that love begins from within. When you love yourself, you are giving your light to the whole world. But the journey doesn't end there. The union in light also carries with it a calling for you to be the protector and caretaker of this world. You realize that not only humans, but nature, heaven and earth, and every living creature are part of a divine plan. The earth is not just a place where you live, but a gift entrusted to you by God to care for. Do you feel the sacredness in every leaf, every drop of water, and every breath of wind? In Psalm 24 verse 1, we are reminded, "The earth is the Lord's and everything in it, the world and all who live in it." Unity in light is not only a connection between people, but also a connection with the entire universe. You are called not only to live a meaningful life, but also to preserve the beauty and balance of the world of which you are a part. Look back at the journey you've been through, from the fakeness of your outer shell, through the chaos of your inner self, to the light of awakening and spreading mission. You have experienced peaks and valleys, but now you stand in the light of truth, ready to embrace your role in the symphony of the universe. Do you see that, in every step, every breath, you not only live, but also contribute to creating the rhythm of life? As you walk in the light, remember that you are never alone. You are part of a larger community, chosen souls, God's chosen ones, who bring light and love to the world. And when we all join together, that light will spread to every corner of darkness, transforming the world into a place full of hope and peace. Are you ready to immerse yourself in the symphony of light? Walk with faith that every action you take, no matter how small, has meaning. And remember, in this unity, you are not just an individual but part of something greater. A light that never goes out. A love that never fades. A truth that never changes. You are the light in God's eternal symphony. Part 6. The continuing mission beyond time, beyond space. Your journey to the light is not an end, but a beginning. You have walked through the darkness, found the truth, and entered the light. But now you stand at an important crossroads. You realize that the light you carry within you is not only to illuminate your own steps, but also to light the way for future generations. Your mission does not exist only in this moment, but is part of the flow of time, transcending the boundaries of space and time. Imagine yourself standing on the mountaintop of awakening, looking down at the tangled paths below. You see thousands, millions of souls still lost, caught in the storms of chaos and fear. They are looking for a light, a guide. Have you ever wondered, if not me, then who? If not now, then when? God said in John 14 verse 12, "Whoever believes in me will do the works that I have done, and greater works than these will do." This is not just a word of encouragement, but a declaration that the power of the light you carry within you can spread far beyond what you can imagine. You are not only enlightened, but also empowered to change the world. In this mission, you will face new challenges. Not everyone is ready to receive the light. Some people will refuse it because they are still bound by the darkness of fear and ignorance. But remember, your mission is not to force light into their lives, but to be living proof that light can exist even in the most difficult of circumstances. Are you willing to wait patiently, to plant the seeds of hope knowing that you may not see the day when they bloom? Your mission is not limited to great words or actions, but lies in the way you live every day. Imagine that each step you take is like a small wave rippling on the surface of a lake, gradually spreading and reaching places you cannot see. Have you ever thought that just one kind word, one small act of love, can completely change the life of another person? Jesus taught in Matthew 13 verses 31 to 32. The kingdom of heaven is like a mustard seed that a man took and sowed in his field. Although it is the smallest of all the seeds, when it grows up it becomes a tree, so that the birds of the air take refuge in its branches. The light you carry is like that mustard seed. Although small, it holds infinite potential to bring life, hope, and transformation. Are you willing to sow that seed every day? Are you patient enough to wait for it to bloom? Your journey will also lead you to unexpected places. You may find yourself entering new communities, meeting souls who need the light you carry. Imagine your light as a flame passed from person to person, each flame lighting a new candle. The Lord said in John 15 verse 16, "You did not choose me, but I chose you and appointed you that you should go and bear fruit, and that the fruit should remain." The sweet fruit you sow not only lasts in your life, but also lasts through generations, transcending all limits of time and space. But remember, your mission is not perfection. There will be days when you feel tired, days when you doubt yourself, and days when darkness tries to cover your heart again. In those moments, remember that you are not alone. God promised in Psalm 23 verse 4, "Even though I walk through the valley of the shadow of death, I will not fear, for you are with me." Have you ever felt His presence in the most difficult times? That presence is always with you, guiding you through every challenge. As you walk this journey, you will realize that light is not only a gift, but also an endless source of power. It not only illuminates your path, but also empowers those around you. You are not just a traveler, but part of an army of light, the God's chosen ones, called to transform the world. Are you ready to continue this journey? Walk with the belief that every day, every moment, you are contributing to creating a better world. And when you feel tired, remember that the light you carry is not from you, but from the Creator. He is always with you, giving you strength and guiding you on the right path. Finally, remember that your light, no matter how small or great, is an integral part of the divine picture. You not only live for yourself, but also to bring hope, love, and truth to the world. No matter how great the darkness, know that the light you carry will always prevail, because that light is the expression of God Himself within you. So go live, shine, because you are the chosen light in this universe. Thank you for participating in this journey. If this video resonated, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe to support me, allowing me to continue sharing these insights and wisdom. May your life be filled with peace and many blessings today and always.